alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, my students. How has the day been? I hope you are observing the lockdown rules, and I hope you are coping with the current situation. This week we are going to have our general revision for last term work. So we shall be starting with principles of farmstead planning and location of farm building and structures. Husbandry of spice crops, example pepper. Husbandry of oil crops, example oil crop. Husbandry of fiber crops, example cotton. Husbandry of latex crop, example rubber. Pasture and forage crops. Forest management and agroforest practices in Nigeria. First of all, let's start with principles of farmstead planning and location of farm building and structures. The farms have some buildings and some structures that enable the farmer to carry out his farming activity out properly. For example, we have farm offices and farm workers living building. We have where you can store some crops such as maize, example is the crib. We also have the barn where you can store the yam, among others. There are also workshops where repairs are carried out on farm machines. That is all we can take on this very topic for now. But let's move to the next topic, which is husbandry of spice crops, and an example is pepper. Under spice crops are those crops that give flavor to our food and make them to have a very good taste. An example of such crops are pepper, locust beans, or again, we have ginger, onion, and scent leaves. Under pepper, we have varieties of pepper. We have bird's eye pepper, we have chili pepper, among others. We also have on the board here husbandry of oil crops. An example here that we are going to take is oil palm. Apart from oil palm, first of all, oil crops are those crops that provide us with fat and oil. And majorly, we have oil palm, groundnuts, and as well soya bean. They all provide us with fat and oil because we derive oil from them. From there, we now move to husbandry of fiber crops. Example is cotton. What are fiber crops? Fiber crops are those crops that provide us with fiber that we use to produce textiles, like clothes, and also for making ropes, or you can call it twine. An example of fiber crops are cotton plant, jute plant, scissor, canap, and hemp. All these provide us with fiber that are used by the industries. The next topic on the board is husbandry of latex crops. Example is rubber. What are latex crops? Latex crops are those crops that we obtain latex from them. And what is latex? Latex is a white sticky liquid that are used to produce plastic, foam, and other rubber materials. Another example of latex crop apart from rubber is a chicory tree. They all exudate what we call latex. The next topic here is pasture and forage crops. First of all, what is pasture? Pasture is an area of land where crops that are called forage crops are growing and are being grazed by animals. And what are these forage crops? They are divided into two. We have the grasses and the legumes. when combined together, they provide a balanced ration for the animal. So, under pasture and forage crop, we treated uses of forage crop. Number one, they are being fed by animal. The grass parts can be used to make roof by the farmers in the rural areas as thatches. Another thing that we use them for is that they can serve as a source of income when a farmer produces them and sell them to other farmers that are not able to produce them. We now have example of we have types of pastures and their characteristics. For example, we have natural pasture and artificial pasture. The natural pasture is the pasture that is growing naturally on its own, but the artificial pasture is one that is deliberately planted by man so that they can be fed to the farm animals. This now takes us to the morphology of forage crops, such as grasses and legumes. We have different grasses. For example, we have the guinea grass, spear grass, and that of carpet grass. Morphology of carpet grass or characteristics of carpet grass is that they cripple on the ground. They are not tall, they are short, and they are compressed. But compare that to guinea grass that is very well found in rainforest areas. They are tall, they are bushy, and they have enough leaves. We have legume crops. Example is the central leaves and the triders. The central leaf, they are trifoliates and they have nodules at their root base because they are leguminous crop. They are very nutritious, and when combined with grasses, they provide good ration to the animals. Factors, we have some factors that affect distribution of pastures. We have biotic factor and we have ecological factors. We also have factors that affect the productivity of pastures. We have them as their factors affecting the establishment of pasture. They are the compatibility, because some grasses are not compatible with some legumes. They cannot grow together in the same area. That will now take us to forest. The next topic here, forest management. What is forest? Forest is an area of land where trees and bushes are growing. What are their importance? Importance of forestry. One is that it provides us with protein because we get some animals from there. And again, we also get local herbs from the forest. It serves as a source of income for the forest guard, and also we source our raw material from the forest for internal use or for export purposes. There are some rules. There's forest regulation in Nigeria. Forest regulation in Nigeria are those regulations laid down by the government in order to checkmate the management and the usage of the forest trees. For example, we have forage management practices. But before that, under forest regulations, we have deforestation, afforestation, tongue system, and forest management regulations. From the regulations, they are that there are bans that one should not cut premature forestry, and one should not hunt animals without getting permission. And as well, you cannot cut forestry without taking permission from the government. Deforestation. What is deforestation? Deforestation is when you cut down the trees from where they are existing. That means there won't be any forest trees there again. That is deforestation. And we also have afforestation. Afforestation is when you plant trees where they are not existing before. That is meaning of afforestation. We also have another terminology called reforestation. Reforestation. That is, after cutting down trees in the forest, we have to regenerate the trees again by planting new ones. That is what we call regeneration. This will ensure future use. Tongian system is another part of forest regulations in Nigeria. What is Tongian system? Tongian system is whereby you are planting forest trees and at the same time you are planting food crops on the same piece of land. This ensures proper land use management. The last topic here is agroforest practices in Nigeria. Agroforest practices in Nigeria. Agroforest practice. What is agroforest? Agroforestry is the management is a land use management that ensures planting of food crops and rearing of animals alongside the growing of tree crops. And what are their importance? It ensures forage food availability for the animals and also ensures the nutrients replenishment in the soil, because when the leaves are falling it will be enriching the soil. And again, we have rows of trees in agroforestry. The rows of trees in agroforestry involve wind breakage, and also it serves as a buffer. Advantages of integrating tree growing with livestock production. Remember I said that agroforestry is the management, is land use management, whereby you can rear animal and grow your crops or your forest trees on the same piece of land. Now, what are the advantages of integrating tree growing with livestock production? If you are a farmer that can rear animals and at the same time you are raising forest trees, particularly the ones that can be fed to the animals, you don't have to spend too much money to buy food externally for the animals. And the animal dropping as well will serve as organic manure to the land where the forest trees are growing, because of the leaf that will be falling, that will be producing humus for the soil, fertility. We now have types of forest, types of agroforest practices. We have early cropping, Tongian system, and the rest of them. There are some factors to be considered when selecting tree species for agroforestry. If you are a farmer and you want to practice agroforestry, there are some things you have to consider. One, the need for that purpose, and the environmental factor, that such tree that you want to plant, does it support where you want to plant it to? Another thing here is factors. Another thing here is some examples of tree species that are suitable for agroforestry. First of all, we have to ask yourself, why am I practicing agroforestry? Some farmers may decide to practice agroforestry in order to be getting leaves from the trees, not to be fed to the animal. Trees like moringas is a tree species that is very good for make in agroforestry, because the moringa leaves are very nutritious to the animal. The moringa branches can also be used as firewood. Another one is the neem tree. The neem tree leaves can be used as biological chemical to kill some worms, such as armyworms that is ravaging maize and rice plantations, because some chemical has been used to try in dealing with the armyworms, but they prove abortive. But once the neem leaf combined with other things are used, there are some level of positiveness. We shall be ending this here now. I look forward to meet you some other time. Thank you for listening.